Okay, hello. Don't be nervous.
Hi there.
I basically imposed this video on you, Miranda.
Just a little?
Even though I did say like maybe we can film some content.
I was not expecting a big light.
Production?
Yeah, definitely not. So
It's okay. So we're basically in Medellín, Colombia. Love it so much. I met Miranda on Instagram. She reached out when she was starting her virtual assistant journey.
That's right.
So the fact that we're here in Medellín is so awesome.
it's crazy.
I can't believe we're filming this video. I mean, I did say I would come. I did manifest it. We talked about this when we had dinner 2 days ago. But I wanted to film this video with Miranda because I feel like, one, it's so important to talk about like other people's virtual assistant journey because everyone's journey is different. So I do want to talk about like your journey, how you found out about virtual assistant and what your journey has been like. But also I want to focus on like the importance of building community as a virtual assistant because you never know who you can be referred by, who's gonna say that they have a client for you, and who you can learn from as well. So with that, let me just get right into it. Tell me a little bit about your background and why you decided to become a virtual assistant or how you found out about it.
So 2 years ago, I left my career as a stage manager in the entertainment industry, born, raised in New York, and I moved to Colombia. So I knew I had to find something that would give me the dream life of traveling, of being in Colombia, just having a better work-life balance than my career was giving me. And I remember following a few van lifers, on Instagram and how they were working from their vans. And I'm like, that is so cool. What do they do? And once I started to research, I saw that a few of them were virtual assistants. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can do this too. So then I started specifically looking at virtual assistant accounts, and that's when I found you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's doing it. She's traveling. Let me ask questions. So then that goes even into community of it is so important to connect with other people, to message, like to not be afraid to ask questions because you never know later on how they're going to help you, support you. And I think we're a beautiful example of that.
Yeah,
because we've support each other so much in just the last year.
Amazing. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think also when you reached out, I wasn't even thinking about being a mentor or coach. This. You were just like someone who I thought was very genuine. You came in not like, oh, I want this free information, give it to me. It was more like, hey, I'm really inspired by you. I want to do what you're doing. I'm starting my own journey as well. Like if you wouldn't mind like answering these questions. And I feel like that's also super important when you are reaching out to other people asking questions. Don't just make it transactional, like actually build the relationship before you get something out of it, right? So I knew, especially now I'm having more friends that are getting into this world. Like now it's becoming more and more popular as it should be because it's an amazing career. But when I started my journey, I didn't really have anyone to ask questions. So when you reached out, I was like, if I can be someone that can help another person reach the success in their journey, I obviously want to help. So thank you for coming in like that. Not everyone is like that. I'm not sure if you've had those experiences of people asking questions and being transactional about it.
I mean, listen, I'm just so grateful for you because there are some people who would have never responded or been like, no, I'm so high up, I don't have time for this. And you took the time to voice message me back more than once, and till this day I still have questions. I'm like, hey, how do you do this? Wait, what do you recommend on this? And you still help me with that. So thank you for being truly a big mentor in our community.
Yeah, no, and at the end of the day, I'm a true believer that karma comes around good and bad.
It does.
You're so welcome. I'm so happy that I was able to help you. So proud of everything you've achieved. Tell me a little bit about the journey in itself. Okay, you like found out about virtual assistant, you started reaching out. I'm pretty sure I remember like you didn't take a course or anything, you were like self-taught. So how was that experience of learning, and then how did that translate in finding clients? Was it easy? Was it hard? How long did it take? All of that.
So I remember once I realized that, hey, this is something I really want to do, and I want to do it seriously, and I want to do it well. For a good month, I just started researching, like reading articles, watching YouTube videos, like just absorbing as much information, or like messaging you just as much as I could, so I could feel confident into like owning my own business. And feeling like, okay, I can really do this for a living. And then a big question that I asked myself was, who do I want to work with? Who do I want to support? Because you could work for a company, an entrepreneur, like there's so many niches. And for me, it was originally coaches and speakers because I grew up in the personal development world. So I was like, I want to be a part of that with my own gifts. And my gifts are administrative, are logistics, are, social media. So I knew that that's how I wanted to show up.
Yeah.
And nowadays I help all types of business owners, and I love it because I get to get out of my comfort zone. I get to learn from them, and it's been honestly the best. I have the best clients, and I'm just so deeply grateful.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And I think it's good that normally like people say to like niche down, but I recommend to keep it a little bit open because you never really know who you're going to be able to help. And if you close yourself to a certain amount of people or certain people, maybe you'll lose a client just because like you weren't open-minded to that.
That's right.
So how was the journey on finding like your first few clients? Like how many discovery calls did it take? Because for some people it does take a longer time. And I do think that that's where a lot of virtual assistants fall in their journey. Like they get discouraged. I have a student right now going through that where she was just like, she tried for a month and she gave up, and I'm like, girl, you can't give up after a month. Like you're doing everything right, just keep pushing. Like the right client just hasn't come your way, the other people just weren't for you. Everything happens for a reason.
I really love that you are bringing this up because I feel like even a lot of VA mentors or coaches are like, I made it in 3 months and I made this amount of money and this amount of clients. And that's not always the case for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. That was not necessarily the case for me because looking back, I've had more no's than yeses. And that's fine because I don't need like 20 yeses. I just need 3, 4, however it is for you.
Or even just one, a really good one.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're an example of that.
Yeah.
See, that's why it's so different. You have 2 clients, I have 4, and everyone has their own business
Model.
done differently.
Yeah.
I opened my business last December, and my first client did not come in until March.
Okay.
So it took a second.
Yeah, it took like 3-4 months.
Yes. And after that, it took a lot of discovery calls of people saying no to find those few yeses. And those few yeses have been a really good fit.
Good.
So I would say it takes more than a month, 2 months, 3 months. It's about showing up, showing your face in stories, making reels, showing what makes you different from other VAs.
Yeah.
Because everyone has different styles. Your style is very different from mine, and that's what makes it so beautiful and amazing, this industry.
Of course, and like we have different services as well. So it's like, of course, it's gonna be different. So with everything that you said, I have 2 follow-up questions. Number 1, what did you do to keep pushing, to like not give up, to like get in the right mindset that you still had to keep going? And number 2, did you think that social media, being active on social media, really helped you get those clients?
Yes. So with social media, I feel like nowadays the cool new thing is to not show your face, like to, just have a background and put an inspiring quote and that's it.
The light died, but it's fine. Keep going. You were blinded by it anyways.
But I think it's so important with so many people doing that to do the opposite of showing your face, whether it's in stories or reels. And I know that that's how I've gotten a lot of clients because they've gotten to know me, my voice, my opinions, how I run my business, my style, which is not like someone else's.
Yeah.
And I feel like even with you as well, you found a really good tool with how you post your reels, and you've gotten your own clients, whether they're students or you're working with them. It's a tool that
For
you
sure.
Absolutely should always be using, and it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah. So how did you stay in that mindset to not give up?
So, like I said, I've always been in the personal development space, like going to conferences, investing in a life coach, a business coach, and just always being inspired by other people.
Yeah.
You're someone.
Oh.
That's someone that has inspired me because I see you killing it. I'm like, oh yes, I gotta get in there too. Boom, boom, boom.
But with that, it's super important to not compare yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Because as we were talking about at dinner the other day, comparison is the thief of joy. You have to understand that everybody has like their own, again, journey, but also their own timeline, and like things are gonna look differently. You just can't compare where someone's at in their life because you don't know the steps that they've taken to get there, right?
That's right. You
And-
never know behind the scenes of someone's life.
Exactly.
Especially on social media.
Yeah, especially on social media when we don't show everything. We definitely don't show the hardships as much, the low days, but we all have them. Would you say, like, because I've gotten a couple questions for people, like, do you think I could succeed as a virtual assistant without social media? And I always say, you know, like, it's definitely not necessary unless social media are your services. Like, if you call yourself a social media manager, social media community manager, like, you have to be on social media to show your client that you know how to use this platform, right? But if it's someone that's, for example, only doing web design or administrative, do you think it's really necessary?
I wouldn't say necessary, but it would be very smart and strategic to use social media for that.
For sure. And I would say to that, it depends on the platform.
Yeah.
So, for example, for my students that only do administrative, I'm always like, well, try LinkedIn or try Facebook groups. Like, you're going to have a better result finding clients that way than necessarily Instagram, because Instagram tends to be more aesthetic, more the graphics, you know? So it really doesn't make sense there.
That's why it's also so important to know who you want to work with,
Exactly.
like what your niche, big or small, is, because each social media platform has different audience. So
For
you
sure.
need to know, hey, where are my people? Let me invest my time and energy in those platforms. So you don't have to be in like Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. No. Choose one or two that you know that's where you're going to find your clients, your dream clients, and stick to that.
For sure. And that's the key word there, dream. That's why it's super important to know who you want to work for. Also, another question for you. Did all of your clients come from social media, or did you do other platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, email pitching, or was it all from there?
So the majority come from Instagram. I treat Instagram like my website. So I have my personal Instagram page, and then I have my business Instagram page, and most come from there because they see my reels, they see my posts, and then very few are referrals, you know, from clients or someone who knows that I am a VA, and then it's through email.
Okay, perfect. So again, that just goes to show the importance of social media sometimes. A lot of my clients, when I started, I had 5 clients, and 4 out of the 5 came from email pitches. Only one came from social media. Yeah.
Damn. See, different stories.
Different stories, different journeys. If you had to give like a piece of advice to yourself, if you had to start all over again, or an advice to someone who's just starting their journey, what would you tell them?
Be patient and be persistent in showing up. That's
Very
what
important.
I would tell myself.
Very, very important. This is literally a mountain that you're climbing. Not everybody climbs Mount Everest because it's hard. So not everyone can become a virtual assistant, but it's so worth it once you do it and you succeed at it.
And you find your style.
You do find your style. You find your rhythm, and you find who you like to work with. Have you ever fired a client?
No, I have not.
Okay,
but
good.
you
I
have.
I have, and I realized pretty quickly it wasn't gonna work out. So it wasn't.
No, you have that feeling from the very beginning.
For sure, for sure. So let's talk a little bit about the importance of building that community, because like you don't know where the referrals might come from. So obviously you started following me, other virtual assistants. Have you expanded on those types of relationships that you've been building, and have you gotten referrals from other virtual assistants, or is it more like other businesses?
No, I actually have. It's really cool, this business, because we are just all over the world. Doing our own thing, and you know, sometimes someone has too many clients or someone needs help with, you know, a service here or there, so we support each other. And I have had other VAs reach out to me and say, hey, I have someone who's looking for the services that you offer, I can't take them on, are you interested? And I say absolutely, and we have a discovery call and all of that.
Awesome. Yeah, so again, super important to build community and to be authentic about it, because I know I've sent you people, so I'm sure like, you know, other people have as well. So that's why it's also super important to show up on social media so other people know what you do, the type of clients that you work for, and all of that.
You never know who is watching you.
Oh yeah.
That's it. You never know.
Yeah. So you never know where a client's gonna come from. That's why you have
right.
to keep going. Is there anything else you want to share, like from your journey, or like a lesson that you've learned from being in this journey?
Just get started. Like, I know sometimes, especially at the beginning, we're like, oh no, I have to have this and this in place, and I have to know about this and that, and have this experience to like start my business or to open it. No, just start, and you learn as you go. Till this day, a whole year and a half later, I'm still learning things.
Same.
I'm still improving things, the way I create content for my clients, the way I do things, and you're always going to be learning, so might as well start now than later.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's super important to remember that not everything, or like not your journey is going to look the same, in the sense of like maybe you'll go the agency route, maybe you'll go the route of hiring just like a subcontractor, maybe you'll go the coaching route like I did. I was debating whether to become a coach or open an agency. So there's a possibility to expand this business and to make even more revenue, but it's important to just start, because you're never going to get to that point if you can't even just start with one client, right?
And since you touched on that, and since we've talked about not comparing each other, for example, there are a lot of VAs who eventually create agencies or become coaches. I didn't feel I was called to be a coach, and that's totally fine. But I'm not like, oh my God, Alex is a coach, maybe I should be a coach. Oh my goodness, I'm not earning enough money, or maybe. No.
Totally.
That's your journey, and I have my journey, and that's totally fine. And that's what makes being a VA so freaking cool.
Yeah, no, it really does. And honestly, I never thought I was going to be a coach either.
No.
Like, just like you messaged me, there were so many other messages I was getting. And I was like, okay, at this point, I'm getting tired of sending the same voice memo and the same links and like giving this information over and over again. Let me just put it in one place. So it kind of found me in a way. But I will say, like we talked about, I think being a coach is way harder than being a virtual assistant. So if you're thinking about coaching, maybe start with virtual assistants.
Yeah, maybe
first.
just little steps back.
Yeah, like try opening an online business where you work with someone else first,
Yeah.
and then run your own business, like as a coach.
There you go.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being on this video. I totally appreciate it. I literally can't believe we're in Medellín. Like, I told her I will be back because I love Medellín. It reminds me so much of Caracas, which is where I'm from. So I'm sure we'll have a follow-up video, like
I can't
a
wait.
check-in to see like how our journey has changed,
Yes.
what else we've learned.
And I believe you. I know you're coming
Oh,
back.
no, for
Because you
sure.
said you're coming, and you actually came.
Oh, yeah.
So I
I am the type of person that when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. It happens. It might take me my entire life, but it's gonna happen. So
Respect.
Yeah, I'm so excited for all the projects I haven't done. You know, I just gotta figure out the timeline with all this traveling going around. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it. What else do you say on YouTube?
Oh my goodness. Like it, share it, comment.
Subscribe.
Subscribe. Yes, there we go.
Perfect. Well, see you in the next one. Bye. Love that.
That was so fun. You're so good at these.
Thank you. I actually wanted to work